So here we go then, everybody. It's time for the run-in. 10 games, 10 cup finals to go. I'm joined by good old Stuart Watson as we discuss the run-in, what we can expect, the talking points going into it. Stu, thanks for joining me. How does it feel covering Ipswich Town in League One and there is things to play for?
A rare feeling, yes. One I think I've probably only felt once before, covering Ipswich for more than a decade, and that was obviously 2014-15 when Mick McCarthy's side ended up sort of limping into sixth place in the end, having been right up there around Christmas time. But certainly the first time we've felt this since Ipswich Town have been down in League One, and that would have been a surprise to everyone if we'd have painted this scenario when Ipswich first went down. So it's been a long time coming that Ipswich been involved in the run-in, aka the business end of the season. We're officially there now, 10 to go. Hold on tight. This is exciting.
Indeed, a lot of twists and turns, I'm sure. And we've got 5 talking points, Stu, going into this run-in. 10 very big games indeed. And the first talking point is having momentum. Normally at this stage of the year, in League One, Town have just gone, okay, here we go, 11th, 9th, 11th, whatever. But Stu, 5 wins in a row, 6 clean sheets in a row, a club record. We've got momentum for the first time ever.
Yeah, hitting form at just the right time, hopefully. I said around Christmas time, when Ipswich had those draws against Portsmouth and Lincoln, that if that was the full extent of Ipswich's blip, then they were laughing because, there was a lot of illness in the camp around that time. And I was hoping that was their kind of sticky patch, but that the sticky patch kind of rolled on a little bit for a few more weeks. And we got to Valentine's Day night at Bristol Rovers and Ipswich drew 0-0. And it was we were having this kind of 1 step forwards followed by 2 steps back pattern emerging. I think it was 4 wins in 15 at that stage. And everyone was getting a bit wobbly and anxious at that moment. Suddenly, the top 6 didn't look so guaranteed and the top 2 looked out of reach. But things can turn very quickly in football, and Ipswich have followed that up with 5 straight wins. Suddenly, other teams that looked like they were unstoppable at one stage, the likes of Derby and Bolton, were on magnificent runs. They've now hit their own sticky patch. Hopefully Ipswich, it's all coming together at just the right time. Let's hope they haven't peaked too early and they can keep this going.
That's a good point. Yeah, sometimes if you peak too early, then another blip could come up. But we're not going to talk about that. Let's talk though, Stu, about the 5 home games Town have got. Portman Road's been a fortress, so great average attendance there, 20, 25 plus every week. We've got Shrewsbury, of course, this weekend. Then we've got Wickham at home. Matty Bloomfield returning to Portman Road as their manager. Port Vale, the last 2 tonight under the lights, which is good to see. And then Exeter City is the last game of the season at home in the league. Thoughts on those ones? A lot of winnable games, but some tricky ones as well.
Yeah, I think Charlton at home in there as well. Bond returning. So yeah, that's the 5 games. You have to say the form that Ipswich are in at the moment, they're all winnable. They're all games that Ipswich, backed by these big crowds at the moment, should be targeting 3 points from. Shrewsbury, Wickham, Charlton, Port Vale, Exeter. Could that be maximum points? If Ipswich are going to finish in the top 2, I think that has to be the target, doesn't it? We know that Ipswich have tripped on a couple of banana skins at Portman Road earlier this season. Lincoln, Cheltenham, Fleetwood. Hopefully there's no more of those in there. And Ipswich can get maximum points. Of those 5 games, arguably Saturday is the trickiest of them. I know everyone's on a major high at the moment, but Shrewsbury are 8th in the league under Steve Cotterill. They've got some experienced players in there, most notably in defence. Flanagan, Pennington, Che Dunkley, Morosi, the goalkeeper. They don't concede many goals on the road, and they'll still be thinking they can sneak into the playoffs. So as much as everyone's sort of floating at the moment off the back of the win at Bolton last weekend, Ipswich have got to get themselves right and ready for this match on Saturday because, this is a tricky one at Portman Road, I think.
Definitely, yeah, they're surprised a lot of people. Your dark horses still. I remember you saying for the previews. So yeah, it'll be a tough game this weekend. Now let's talk about the away trips, Stu. 5 home games, 5 away games left. Nice little balance there. Some very big tests away from home. Barnsley away, Derby away, and then Cheltenham away on Easter Monday. Then Peterborough away, who will be trying their best to fight for the playoffs, I'm sure. And then a long trip to Fleetwood. Will we be celebrating Suffolk there? Will it go down to the wire? But yeah, some very big tests away from home to do.
Yes, that's why we're talking about targeting maximum points at home, because these away games look very tricky indeed. The fact that Ipswich have gone to Bolton and won, I think, provides an added confidence boost going into the games against the likes of Barnsley and Derby. Of course, at this stage, as we sit here on Tuesday morning recording this, we don't know if the Barnsley game is going to be coming up later this month, or whether it's going to get postponed because of international call-ups. That could end up being moved till the 3rd from last game of the season, which may or may not have huge connotations on, depending if both are still in the mix by then. We'll have to wait and see. But look, my hope has to be that Ipswich are better suited to playing the better teams in this division. I mentioned some of the games where they've come unstuck as tend to be against low blocks, teams that come and park the bus. Against teams that want to come and give them a game of football, particularly on their own patch, might just suit Ipswich. It did at Bolton at the weekend. Could and should have got more at Plymouth. Went 2-0 up at Sheffield Wednesday. Why should Ipswich go to Oakwell and to Pride Park and to London Road with any trepidation? I think they'll be bang up for these games. I'm excited for these ones.
Yeah, definitely. There's some big backing as well. Town fans will be there in their numbers, I'm sure. Well, Stu, let's talk about the players then. This is the 4th talking point. And, not many injury problems, which is good to see. Hopefully we haven't jinxed it now. It's because 10 games to go, anything can happen. Touch the head, touch everything you can. Fingers crossed and all that. But for the first time, Stu, in League One, we've got players in form. We've got a very good squad. And we've got a lot of injury-free. Dominic Ball's returned after being told, season-ending injury, but he's back. He was on the bench at Bolton. Torres John Jules is still to come back, but some other players in form and doing really well indeed.
Yeah, Ipswich said in January, Mark Ashton said, we will not be left with any regrets come the end of the season. We want to leave no stone unturned. And he was true to his word. The club were true to their word, and they went out and they strengthened from a position of strength. And Massimo Luongo's been a huge addition. Has taken some of the pressure off the young shoulders of Cameron Humphreys and has helped Sam Morsey get through the yellow card tightrope so far. One more game to go for him at the weekend before that amnesty comes in. Broadhead's obviously been fantastic. Hurst is showing game by game what he can bring, and Harry Clark's settling in nicely at right back as well. So you go through that squad, it's power packed. There's 2 players at least for every position. Semblance of a starting 11 starting to come in now, which I think was important for all the talk about squad depth. I think it was important that the core of a team started to emerge, and it has. But there will be times when Ipswich need to rotate, and hopefully injuries don't strike. We've seen at Plymouth with Michael Cooper getting injured, that's a major blow for them. We hope that there isn't something similar coming down the track for Ipswich Town, and that their misfortune with injuries has all been used up this season, and it will, fingers crossed, be plain sailing from now till the end of the season.
Yeah, hopefully so. Well, Stu, the final talking point is the question: will Town make top 2? I think from the weekend, I think Town fans have started to believe that it can happen. 2 points now away from Plymouth. But Stu, from your research, from your looking about Barnsley, Plymouth, for the teams up there, we're going to be looking to the top 2. How's their running with Towns?
Well, I think it is a case of 3 into 2. I think Sheffield Wednesday are gone. The form that they're in, they're winning machines at the moment. I just can't see them dropping points in 4 or 5 games between now and the end of the season. So let's discount them. And I think Derby and Bolton have probably just dropped off in terms of top 2. Ian Evatt at Bolton has conceded that they're not looking at the top 2 anymore, and it's consolidating the playoffs. So it is a case, I think, of Plymouth, Ipswich and Barnsley fighting over one last automatic promotion spot. We've talked about Ipswich's fixtures, some winnable home games, some tough ones on the road, but a team in form. Plymouth, I guess the one kink in there is that they've got a Papa John's Trophy final at Wembley coming up against Bolton. Does that act as a morale boost, a bit of momentum, or does that act as a bit of a distraction for them? Hopefully the latter from an Ipswich Town point of view. Their home form has been immense, hasn't it? Plymouth. So you'd back them in most of their games at home. But there is a couple of banana skins in there, I would say. They've got to go to Accrington in midweek, which is a long old trip up from Plymouth. And they've got a derby against Exeter at St James's Park. And that is a fierce old rivalry. And Exeter will be bang up for that. They'll be hoping to derail their rivals in that game. So there's a couple of games there to look out for. Barnsley, 2 games in hand on Ipswich, of course. And if they win both of those, they go level. Big if for them to win those. Their first game in hand is at home against Sheffield Wednesday. Massive South Yorkshire rivalry clash there. I don't know if I'd go as far as calling it a derby, but big game there. Barnsley beat them in the reverse fixture. So if they win that, that could really supercharge them. If they don't, hopefully that will slow them down a little bit. But look, ultimately Ipswich, it's all about what they can do, isn't it? It's the old cliche. It's what we're going to hear Kieran McKenna keep saying, but Ipswich have just got to post as many points as possible. What is clear is that I think somebody is going to miss out with a very, very high points total this season. Normally 2 points a game, which is what Ipswich are ticking over at the moment, gets you to 92, and more often than not, 9 times out of 10, that gets you in the top 2. This year, even that might not be enough. So my gut feeling is this is going to go right down to the wire. I don't want to call it either way at the moment. I don't want to jinx it. I'm just trying to enjoy this the best I can. It's hard to, but we wait a long time for these seasons to come along. Let's just strap ourselves in and try and enjoy the ride.
Yeah, definitely. I'll echo Stu's thoughts there. Just enjoy the ride, Town fans. A lot of twists and turns to come, I'm sure. But hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. Stu, any other business, my friend? Any other notes you want to mention? Goal difference could be another key thing. I know Town have got some good goal difference at the moment. Do you think that will come into play?
Possibly, yeah. Ipswich have got, I think, a pretty healthy margin on others at the moment. So hopefully that can be maintained. Top goal scorers in the league, obviously a club record clean sheet on the go at the moment. So that could all help, couldn't it? I think since George Byers put Sheffield Wednesday 2-0 up at Portman Road, Ipswich has scored 16 goals without reply at the moment. So that is form that's got the rest of the league, I'm sure, sitting up and taking notice. So, yeah, there's a few little records along the way that Ipswich can hopefully get, which will all help. Can Connor Chaplin get to 20 league goals? Could he finish as the division's top goal scorer? Could Leif Davis end up as the division's leading assist maker? So, yeah, there's a few little things along the way that Ipswich can hopefully tick off, which is all going to hopefully contribute to this season ending in glory. Ross, fingers crossed, eh?
Yeah, fingers crossed indeed. Bring it on. Looking forward to it. 10 big games. Let's get right into it. Thanks for watching. Put in comments down below your thoughts, your feelings, maybe your prediction. Can Town make top 2? We shall wait and see. Bye-bye for now.